That on the left is Picacho Peak. And this is leaving Tucson. There's Mount Lemmon and the freeway. More later. Show you, we really do have saguaro cactuses in Arizona. Some more there off in the distance. We're just at a truck stop. Yay. Look, fast food and gasoline. Welcome to America. Hello everyone, this is Bill from Cambodia, and I just wanted to give a little kind of overview of my first day and a half here. I got here yesterday just dead tired. I had had no sleep in over 24 hours, and so going around was a bit confusing and a bit disheartening because I thought I was being friendly, I thought I was being kind and all that, and I seemed to just be getting a lot of negative stuff. And I realized that when you're that tired, maybe you don't come across as friendly as you think you are. And so, yeah, yesterday I went over to, there's a convenience store called Star Mart right next to my guest house. And I go there and I asked, hey, you know, is there any chance I could get 10 ones for a $10 bill? And I kind of got a scowl, and I figured it's a convenience store. If anyone has enough to break a 10, they would. She hands me 2 5s and just shuts the drawer and looks at me. And I'm like, well, I guess this is what I'm getting. But it turns out, what I was worried about is that some of the smaller vendors, like places selling soup and stuff like that, might not be able to break a 5, which I know sounds a bit ridiculous, but I mean, out here $20 is a pretty big thing. So I was curious if maybe the 5 was, and my friend Dave assured me no, you know, I would really be worried about a place that can't break a 5. So I can feel more comfortable walking around with 5s. And then at the guest house, I go into the dining area where they serve food. And I asked if they were open right then, and they're like, well, what do you want? And, you know, in my confused, tired state, I was like, I don't know, just a bowl of noodles. And thought I was being friendly, but it probably came across as like, bowl of noodles. So what I got was a bowl of fuck you. It was basically a little brick of ramen, half cooked in some broth with some really old bok choy and a couple of chunks of carrot. And yeah, that was that. And then I asked how much, and like $2, which here for that is an extra insult. Like that, 50 cents would have been closer to right to have it cooked for you and served to you, because it's less than that to buy the ingredients. Anyway, so yesterday I was feeling a bit disheartened. Then at like 3 a.m., well, I got some sleep. About 3 a.m. I decided to go for a walk, and you're like, what? First night in Cambodia, you're in a strange country, walking around at 3 a.m., isn't that dangerous? Well, we're right on NR6, which is the main road in Siem Reap, the biggest road. I stayed in well-lit areas, and it's actually a lot safer here than I felt in the States. Like there's a couple of intersections near where I used to live that I wouldn't walk around at night. But so I walked around a bit, and just to kind of face some fears and deal with it. And so I'm walking around, and I got a lot of people offering me rides, tuk-tuk rides. It's like, tuk-tuk, sir, tuk-tuk. And I'm like, no thanks. And then I started saying, Pnom Hakpran, which means I'm exercising. I need to exercise. And a couple tuk-tuk drivers got a chuckle out of that. One guy, because I went to Star Mart, got a can of lychee juice. And so I'm walking around drinking a can, and he probably, it probably looks like I'm going around drinking beer. And this guy, like when I said the exercise thing to him, he said in English, "Oh, you exercise with beer?" And we both had a good chuckle at that. And so that made me feel a bit better. And then today, went around with Dave from Dave Does Cambodia and Sang Lai, his girlfriend, and they were super helpful and really, really kind to help out. And can't thank them enough. And so we went to Cell Card to go get a card for this phone that I'm recording on. Finally got that hooked up, so I've got a Cambodian phone number. We went to the bank so I could break a 20. And then we went and got some food. Now it's the Lunar New Year right now. I think it was yesterday mainly, but it's still, I guess, 2 or 3 days after they still kind of celebrate it. And a lot of places were closed. Dave wanted to take me to his favorite noodle shop. That was closed. But there was a little street full of street food stalls where they have a bunch of big pots of soup. And you can just lift the lids, look inside, see what you like. And so I had some kind of chicken and vegetable curry kind of dish with a little plate of rice, and that was tasty. And then they have these little sausages, which are like a really bright red. And I wasn't sure how they would taste, but it was like slightly sweet. It was like really tasty. The whole meal was great. I found, first decent meal. Didn't record anything because we were just hanging out talking. They were helping me out, and it just didn't seem like a time to record. And let's see, then went over to their apartment, chatted for a while. It was really good. And then I came back. Dave's coffee place that he says has the best coffee anywhere. You've seen that in his videos if you watched his channel. That lady's a riot, by the way, who makes the coffee there. She's a hilarious little old lady. And so I went and got some of that coffee, and she's kind of looking at me, waiting for me to try it and everything. So I tried it, and I'm like, "Shang-ang-na," and she's like, "Oh, like, come on." Like, "Oh, you're speaking some Cambodian." And she was funny, just really gregarious and cool. And it was good coffee, damn good coffee. And one thing, I've got some of it left. One thing I think is genius here. They have these little carrying things here. And it's like, so you're not walking around holding onto a drink, getting your hand cold or warming up the drink. It's not going to slip out of your hand. And it's genius. I don't know why they don't have that in the States. Maybe because it makes sense. But so yeah, then I came back to my little room here, and just rested. And now I'm gonna go out, go to hit, I think, Angkor Market, and there's one around the corner. Get some toiletries and small necessities. Gonna go, there's a little restaurant nearby called 333, which has a lot of good reviews and is apparently cheap and good. I think I might go check that out. And then a bit later I might go to the local brew pub and have a couple of beers and check that place out. And see what happens from there. Anyway, it's been an interesting first day or so, and while I had a lot of trepidation yesterday, I will say that I'm glad I came here. Life's going to be interesting, to say the least. Whoever said, "May you live in interesting times," I don't know if I want to kick them in the nuts or hug them, but it's I think it's going to be pretty cool here. There's just the Cambodian people, like the ones who are more friendly, which I am finding is more of them than I had first encountered. Just a lot of quirky, funny, silly stuff, little conversations. It's fun. So, all right, you guys take care. If you'd be so kind as to like, subscribe, and maybe even share, I would very much appreciate it. And I'll talk to you next time. Hello everyone, it's Bill here, and I got a few things here from Angkor Market, which was probably a little more expensive than other places I could have gone, but it was nearby. And I got a few toiletries here, toothpaste, shaving cream, 6 razors, and a mixture of shampoo and conditioner, about $6.50 for everything. It would have cost that for like 2 of these items alone in the States. And I went and got some noodles, and let me flip this around if I can. Well, I can't. So I'll just keep talking while you look at this. It'll be really quick. No, I won't do that. One moment. So on the way back from Angkor Market, I stopped by a little thing, just a little side street restaurant there, that and got a bowl of noodles finally, and it wasn't bad. It was pretty good. It wasn't like top notch, but it was decent. It wasn't crap. And however, they had water on the table in these little jugs, and I asked for, he asked if I wanted a shake, and I was like, no, water is okay. And he gives me a bottled water, and I should have said no, I'll just take this stuff on the table, but I didn't. And so he charged me extra for that, and he was kind of smart. And today I learned the word for smart, which is tut. And so I said, nek tut, you're smart. And he just gave me an uneasy smile. And so that was interesting, but not a bad little bowl of soup. It was like actually spiced, had some nice flavors into it. I could see some shallots in there, some different herbs and whatnot. I don't know if I'm going to go get a beer tonight. I'm pretty tired, but who knows what the night holds. But this might be it for day one, full day one. Anyway, one thing I would suggest, my first piece of actual advice after coming here, unless you really want to tie and untie and take off and put back on your shoes several times a day, get slip-on shoes. That's going to be one of my next purchases. Anyway, take care.